Hi, y'all. Jeff here with Jeff's Cars and Garage, and welcome back to the garage. I'm not driving the GL350 down to Louisiana. I'm back from Louisiana, um, and I got my wife home. Everything is worked out with her sister. She's gotten everything taken care of, and now she's back. With her hobby and taking care of her, house plants and so forth. So I'm gonna pick up kind of where I left off, sort of. One of the things that there's been a lot going on over the last. It's been about 2.5 weeks, so now I'm behind schedule. And it was a good thing that I was somewhat ahead of schedule, sort of. But here we are. Today is, April 5th. So what I wanted to do, what my plan was to drive this in the cruise night in Blair, Nebraska on May 3rd, which happens to be my birthday. I don't know if I'm going to get there now. So my original plan is to have this car painted either last weekend or this weekend. Well, I had the trip down to Baton Rouge where y'all saw I did the video with the 190, and then I came back, and then we had the Snowmageddon while I was back, and so with my job and what I do, that kind of had me busy for the rest of that week, and then partially into the next week, because my job had to take precedence. So I was tired by the time the weekend came around, so I didn't work on the car. And then the following weekend, I went back down to Baton Rouge to pick up my wife and bring her home, along with a lot of other things. So just as an update, the GL350, I put 4,500 miles on it in a 3-week period of time. I did get the oil changed in between the trips down to Baton Rouge. I do need to replace the PCV valve combination unit, according to Jared. I have it. I just didn't take it I just didn't take it with me to have him replace that. But Jose and I may try and figure out how to do it. It looks like it just sits up on top of the engine. I averaged the entire trips, according to the computer on the car, averaged 25.8 miles to the gallon in the SUV. So I was very, very, very impressed with the fuel economy. Very impressed with the performance of it. The wind, because it's an SUV, there was some wind in Arkansas from time to time. I could feel it, but it's a little taller profile vehicle. So, but very comfortable, and all 4 trips did it straight through. Never shut down except for fueling, and maybe to stop at a restaurant and eat. So 16 hours that vehicle was running. Most of the drive, the 16 hours, with about twice where it only was shut down for 20 minutes for fueling up and each trip, and then one time on the trip coming back. Each trip coming back was shut down for an hour while we went in and sat down at a restaurant and ate. So I'm very impressed with that. I'm probably going to have to buy tires before next winter because the tires were what came with the car. But I'm very, very, very impressed with the diesel in the performance of it. Haven't had any issues since then. Knock on wood. I guess I'll just knock on my head, even though I don't have any wood close by. No issues. Engine or drivetrain or anything. It did change the oil just slightly ahead of its schedule, but we were also double checking to see if there was any metal, in the oil from the timing chain tensioner that was replaced. So I'm probably going to order another one just to have, because it seems to be a failure point, just to have one on hand because, well, now we're in tariff world. And so if it's a Mercedes part, it's going to have, well, I was quoted $245 from the Mercedes store. So that part was probably manufactured overseas in Germany, I'm going to guess. So now we're going to have, it's going to cost me another 25% or whatever the tariff percentage is to that country. And I mean, we got the whole list, but, folks, it's going to cost us. It's not, it's a tax that is supposedly going to bail out the government and get us get a national debt to come down. At least that's what the intent is. I don't see that happening. I think I've seen some additional news out there that's saying that it's being put towards military spending. But at this point, everything is all subject to change. So, but let's get back to this. So I'm probably going to do a two-part video on this because we're back out here in the garage and I have to refresh myself of what it is that I need to do on this car. So this side is all done except for right here and up there. I need to resand up there just a little bit and then drop down underneath and get the front spoiler, the AMG spoiler that's on there. So, and that way I can continue to prime up that way and go around the front. And without taking the camera off, I'm just going to kind of explain. So I remember this was ready to shoot the door and all the way up in the front fender just like before and tie this quarter panel. And it looks like I'm ready to do the same thing, which I'll do the same thing with the primer that I did on that door. I'm only going to cover, just a couple width pattern, around the edges so that when the door cards are on, you can actually, you'll just look in and if you peel them back, you'll see the white paint, the body color. So I think I'll get that done. It looks like I still have a little sanding on the back here on the ground effects, the AMG ground effect. I got a little bit down there, but other than that, the door jambs, everything is ready to go. I've got enough space here. I can open the door, shoot the gun in there. My A-pillar is done. So I'm almost ready to shoot this in primer. I'll probably go over it just as a safe measure to make sure I've got good, sanding, surface to adhere to. I am going to hit this down here. And then the convertible top cover, that's sanded, ready to go to shoot primer. Now, I ordered the paint. The paint is now in the house. I have the paint, the reducer, the clear coat, the catalyst. I am ready to shoot that because I picked that up this morning. And so what my thoughts might be, if I get all of this done today, my thoughts is to come in here, paint the underneath side of the trunk lid, and probably right along inside this edge so that, basically hit this and get that colored, give color on it. And the same thing in the hood is get it, because I still have one area from about here to there that's still red, and try and get these springs and so forth. There's still stuff I got to tape off in there that I don't want. I got to get the red as much as I can. But I thought, okay, now that I've got the color, I thought, well, I'll do the color underneath there. Underneath there, I could get the color in here, underneath, on some of the areas where, tomorrow or next week, all I have to do is go back and scuff, re-tack, and then I'm ready to go. Or do inside the door, so that something, I can figure out something to get the color, get some color on it, so that when we do the shooting of the rest of the car, this could be, I could hold this up, do inside inside there, put this down, then shoot across, getting the the troughs, and make it flow. Inside the door cards, or behind or underneath the door cards, they don't need to be clear coated. Just the areas close to it, like here and here a little bit. Obviously the A-pillar right here, because it's visible. The the rockers, they need to be have clear coat on them. But basically the visual parts. But coloring the rest of it may be, help in as far as, getting ahead of the timeline, because I'm only going to put a coat or so, underneath, well, here, and maybe a coat or maybe two underneath the trunk lid, where I'll probably end up with 3 on the body. So we'll see how that works, and I probably will do a video accordingly. I'm going to have to plastic up a little bit of the areas to keep, from the overspray. So I got to work on that too. But we're just kind of going to go, take it a step or so at a time and see. Now, I'm still deliberating, and I'm talking to myself about, am I going to shoot the car? My daughter Madison says that I should. But I don't know if, because next week's temperatures are going to be in the 70s, which is a great time. It's a great temperature to paint. It's perfect. And with a medium reducer, I'm probably going to be at a 15 to a 20 minute tack off period. I don't know if I can keep up and shoot the whole car that quick to be able to start at the very beginning. I mean, it's going to be about a maximum of 30 to 35 minutes. I don't know how fast I can get around the car to where I'm ready to start all over to get the second coat and the third coat and so on and so forth, the third coat. And then with that in mind, then when it comes to the clear coat, I got to have the same thing. And the further in the day that I go, the warmer it's going to be. So early on, I may have 30 to 35 minutes tack time. But then, when I start it, and then about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, I may be down to 20 minutes tack time. And I'm an old fart. So I may have to empower, the guy that, I've kind of invited to paint. We'll see. I want to talk to him a little bit more in detail, because while I can't afford to have a complete professional job, I think I've done a pretty good job so far, and having someone that's has gone to school for this and has painted cars on a professional level might be a good idea to do that, because I'm a month away from the cruise night, which I wanted to put this car in the cruise, in the Blair cruise night. I've got some vacuum lines that I need to address, and then I've got some bushings that need to go on. But the car is still drivable without putting the bushings on. But a lot needs to take place, and there's a lot of putting back together before then. So Put your comments down below. I'm probably going to just take and get after it and see what I can do. I've got today and tomorrow, and by tomorrow mid-afternoon, if it's ready for color, I may shoot color in the hard to reach places so that it's I can get what needs to be done. I've got to check the tape, because it's been out here cold. I mean, for the last 3 weeks, it's been out here sitting out in the cold, so the tape is probably drying up, and I may have to retape some areas. So I got to double check that. More to come, but continue to watch. Put your comments down below, and I appreciate you watching. And now that I'm back, here we go. We're getting down to the final stretch of getting color on this car, and then we'll probably start doing videos of putting all the pieces back together. I've got new rubber seals. I've got the rubber trunk seal. I've already done the taillights, which you've seen that video. We're going to be putting the headlight buckets back in. There are so many things to put back on this car, and I got to clean each one of them because I want the chrome to shine on every one of them. So more to come. Keep tuned. Share this with your friends. Appreciate you watching, and have a great day. Thank you.